Hey guys, it's Gamer Ahmer. So today we are at the grand opening of Eternia Dreams. We are at this insane toy store in the Westminster Mall in Maryland. So right here you can see this whole store behind me. So we are going to go inside and check this out. There are tons of these play sets all in the cases. They have insane amount of rows inside of the store. So here we have this whole entire store right here. So just as you saw, things were chaotic. This was the grand opening of Eternia Dreams, probably one of the largest toy stores that I have ever seen. They really did a spectacular job with this grand opening. I just love how this whole store is set up. It's actually in Maryland, in the town mall of Westminster. So I'll go ahead and drop all of the information below so that if you're ever in the area, you could go ahead and check out this massive toy store. Of course, there are some video games as well, and they do have all of this social media related to the store. They do live sales, they do all kinds of things, so you don't have to just physically go there. They will ship items as well, but they have an insane amount of toys and just so much stuff. So of course, as I'm going out to this, I tried to get there pretty early, so I got there a little bit after 10, just a few minutes, and of course this was just insane. Walking up to the store, of course it's this bright orange color that you see. You just see all of these different toys through the windows. I really like how these stores are set up so that you can actually see inside and see what's in there. As you're walking up, you see these showcases, and I just love how they have different themes and different items in pretty much all of their showcases. So of course they had a whole area kind of dedicated to Hulk Hogan and wrestling. You see this large standee of Hulk Hogan. You just see some really amazing items in these first showcases. Even a little handheld game, I noticed that right away inside of this. And then of course you see a whole one dedicated to Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. So I just love seeing that. Of course you have the party wagon, you have just some amazing stuff, this whole sewer layer, just all of these kind of pre-posed in the glass there. And then you see some of the really expensive Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle figures as well. So a lot of them I just definitely need eventually. So of course I saw that and I just knew I was going to fall in love. You see all of this in the next one. You see some Ghostbusters. You see a whole entire section kind of dedicated to Ghostbusters. So I just really like all of these showcases, kind of like a little glimpse of what you're actually going to see when you walk inside of the store. And of course my eyes just went all over the place, and I had to walk around several times because each time I walked around I saw something a little bit different. So I just really like how they have all of this stuff set up, and I just kind of fell in love immediately. So of course when you walk in, it's very overwhelming because you see rows and rows of items. I like how they have this whole entire cage area that has just different rows, and each row has kind of a theme. So I really like how they have that. So of course I went down the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle row first. So just seeing the insane amounts of toys, especially there, just seeing the complete in box sewer layer for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, then seeing all kinds of weird promotional items, and then seeing that huge sewer hockey box. That thing is just massive, so I will definitely have to get one of those in my collection. Seeing a skateboard, just the amazing artwork on that skateboard, and then seeing the water bottle, seeing the lunchbox, seeing watches, seeing figures, carded figures, loose figures, newer stuff, older stuff. And then of course at the end there, I like how they really utilize those end caps. They have tons of trolls. They have a whole entire box with cheaper Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle figures, kind of loose ones, in that really awesome toy box. And then of course, as we're kind of working our way around the store, there are just so many different rows. So one row had tons of Marvel characters. They had a whole section of DC characters. Just really awesome to see all of the different superheroes and everything else in these aisles. So I just really thought that that was spectacular, that they went ahead and kind of kept everything within a theme. They had everything easily accessible, and it's just insane to see everything in their own little individual baggies with the label of the store name. So that is a really cool touch. I just love seeing all the different X-Men characters, all those bright colorful cardboards. And then we have a whole entire section of kind of miscellaneous toys as well. So I just really like going through and seeing all of the different categories and different characters that you see. And then, of course, as we're kind of working our way around, you see a whole entire DC section. Of course, there's tons of Batman characters, a lot of the ones that I absolutely want at some point in the future. And each aisle and each section just has something different. Of course, with their name, Eternia Dreams, of course, you're going to have tons of Masters of the Universe. I saw tons of these Happy Meal, little display boxes, just so many neat and creative things from back in the day, not just related to the figures themselves. They even have new lines of figures, and it's just really cool seeing things that aren't just action figures or box sets. I like how they have something for everyone who collects. And then I love how they have all of the loose figures and vehicles. I love the showcases. Each showcase that I looked into had some more expensive items. I even saw some expensive video games, like they did have Snatcher, so that was really cool to see on the Sega CD. So they definitely have a good variety when it comes to that. And then I even saw some Toxic Crusaders. I love the bright and vibrant colors. Definitely remind me of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle toys, but of course way brighter. So I love seeing those in the showcase. Then even behind the cabinet, I saw some amazing He-Man and just some amazing figures. They had a whole section of G.I. Joe as well. I love seeing all of the different box figures, on-card figures, loose figures, all of the play sets. They had things hanging from the top part. Just really awesome to see that they took the time to display everything. And just seeing the different lines like creepy crawlers, crush dummies, and just so many others behind the counters as well. They had an entire comic book section, but it looked like that was kind of closed off temporarily. I guess they're still working on that, but it looked like they had some amazing comics on display as well. So it has a little bit of everything, and one of the particular areas that I loved especially was seeing all of those Power Rangers, which I ended up getting something, so I'll have to show you guys what I actually picked up as well. And then in the case, they had some more larger scale Power Ranger items, some of the more expensive kind of sets together, and then they had some box ones. They had an entire Funko Pop wall. I love seeing the signs at the top as well. I saw a bunch of these Funko signs across the whole entire back wall. They had a whole entire section. They had some expensive ones, some of the cheaper ones. They just had a great mix of literally everything there. And then of course in the back you have a whole nother section of rows as well. So we had a whole bunch of horror figures. We had a whole section of video game figures. We had a miscellaneous section. So it was really cool seeing all those horror figures as well. Some of those I definitely remember seeing. I love those movies. Even that Creepy Crawlers box set, that was something that I had as a kid. And then on to the miscellaneous section, tons of Turbo Man toys. I saw some Small Soldiers figures, so that was really cool. And just seeing a whole mixture of stuff, even seeing those dinosaurs figures, not the mama. So that was really cool to see, just a mix of everything kind of jam-packed. And then even this little video game area, that was pretty sweet to see. It's on this whole entire little pillar on both sides, and then they have a whole section of figures. So that was really cool to see all of those figures related to video games. You have Contra, Mortal Kombat, you have Super Mario Brothers, Tomb Raider. So I just love seeing those Super Mario Brothers figures. I did get one recently, which is in a later video. I know that I'm filming this one after the fact. Then we had some Resident Evil characters. That is always spectacular to see because those are very expensive. Tons of Lara Croft, some Tomb Raider figures. Those are really awesome as they are pretty large box sets. They had some of the smaller ones as well. Just Super Mario Brothers, Zelda, Quake. We just have a whole mixture of Final Fantasy, Mortal Kombat Trilogy. I remember those little figures. Those ones are pretty cool. They just had so many different sets as well, just kind of jam-packed. All those G.I. Joe figures. They kind of cross over with Mortal Kombat. Some of my favorites there. And then the Street Fighter ones that are like the G.I. Joes. I do have a couple of each of those So those are pretty cool to see. Just going to the video game section, I just loved how that was on those pillars right there. I loved how they have an entire side that I definitely had to collect for, where I saw Nintendo, Super Nintendo, all the cartridge games, Nintendo 64. They had some really awesome games for the Sega Genesis. Just seeing some of those shoot 'em up styles. Batman, of course you had Michael Jackson, you have Out of This World. You just have so many great titles, some that I have and some that I absolutely need. A couple $100 worth of games right there. Some of them are a few $100. It's just insane to see a whole mixture of these, not just sports titles, but you have some legit copies of some of these complete in-box games, and I really like how they have them each individually packed. They show the cartridge and the manual condition all in here as well, so that was really awesome to see. And I definitely went through and got some amazing Super Nintendo games for my set that I'm trying to grow. And then they had an entire side that had more of the disc-based games. So of course you had a whole section that was PlayStation, PlayStation 2, GameCube. You had a whole mix of some of the Xbox, Xbox 360, some of the newer games as well, and then some of the consoles at the bottom. But I just love going up and down each aisle. Each time I saw something different, like Jurassic Park, I saw a whole section of that. They had some of the box sets, some of the loose figures as well. Even seeing all of these wrestlers, they had an entire row dedicated to them. Tons of loose figures, tons that were in the newer style boxes. They even had some chairs and some championship belts, so that was pretty cool to see, a little bit of a mix. A whole Ghostbusters section, I really like that, because that is something that I definitely want to collect for. And something that really stood out in that whole Ghostbuster section was that really cool, the real Ghostbusters little game where you can trap the ghost. That was really cool to see. It's definitely a vintage style game right there, so if that's still there, I may end up going back for it. And then we just had so much, so as I'm talking, you'll see really a lot of stuff here, an entire row of Hot Wheels as well. Not really something that I collect for, but there's a little bit of something for everyone. And I just love seeing all of the little hidden gems kind of mixed within. Bubble Bath for the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle, just all of these vehicles, and just so much cool stuff. So I was definitely taken aback when I went there, when I saw everything, and I definitely had to score tons of stuff. So next up, we'll get into some of the items that I had to score. I knew that I didn't have a lot of time as I was trying to capture footage. I was trying to see what was going on. They even had someone playing live music, so that was really cool. They had tons of characters that were dressed up. Of course, everywhere I looked, I saw Patrick from SpongeBob. So, of course, right away, these figures I knew I had to get, as I recently picked one up, and that one I was pretty thrilled about, because that will actually be in a later video, and I do have some of the loose characters already, like Mario and Luigi. So of course I have Iggy right here. This comes with the action flamethrower, and then we have Spike, of course, and this one comes with the weapon. So this says collect all 6 Super Mario Brothers figures. Of course I have a loose Mario, a loose Luigi. I ended up getting another one of these, and now I have Iggy and Spike. So I was pretty thrilled to add both of these box figures to my little set, as I'm trying to grow a little section on one of my shelves kind of dedicated to the Super Mario Brothers movie, where I have that amazing standee, that huge standee that you would have saw back in the day at the movie theaters hanging from the ceiling. And of course I did a impulse buy where I saw that they had this Batman cup, and of course we have Two-Face. So this is one that I absolutely needed, as I have the others in the set of 4. So I was really excited to see that in the little case. They had tons of glasses in a whole entire section. And then of course I had to pick up these Flintstones McDonald's cups as well. So I have one in the set, but there are a few others. So I did get the rest of the 3. I just went ahead to go ahead and complete that, as sometimes I see them at the thrift stores, sometimes I see them pretty cheap, but I really needed to collect the entire set, and now that's something that I'm happy that it's over with. And then of course, I had to pick up some video games. So I'm not even going to count these in everything in my little Super Nintendo set. I'm just going to go ahead and put these on the list, so I'll mention them in a later video, but I'm not going to take off this money, as this was a grand opening. I knew that I would spend some money while I was there, and I really wanted to help them out. And they did a spectacular job putting all of this stuff together, so this was really cool to see. So I really wanted to help them out as well. So of course we have 2 Super Nintendo games that I'm adding to the set. This one was for a great deal. It's Lord of Darkness. So this one, I don't really know too much about, but I'm very happy to go ahead and add this one to my list of trying to collect all 700 and some Super Nintendo games. And then of course this game right here, we have Equinox. So also another game that I'm not sure what it's about, but these were both for a great deal, so I had to add them. And I'll go ahead and mention them in one of my other Super Nintendo completion videos, as I'll just go ahead and shout them out again, because that was definitely amazing to find there. And then of course, this right here. So of course I really wanted something Power Rangers, and I got this right here, this remote controlled Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Megazord. So I had to add this one. This is the large size, 14-inch size. So this is really cool. It says voice transmitter, transmit your voice through Megazord. So this would have been really awesome to play with back in the day. I'm pretty sure I probably had something like this back in the day. So I really wanted to add this large style box to my collection with this remote controlled Megazord. And this will definitely go great with all of the Mighty Morphin Power Ranger items that I've been collecting. So of course it has this Toys R Us sticker on here as well. And then you just open this guy up, and here we have this Megazord with all of these stickers on him. So this is so cool to see, just everything together. Of course you have all of this extra stuff in here, and then it kind of shows you the instructions on how to put this guy together. There's a whole bunch of extra stuff as well, so you could go ahead and put all of this on there, kind of add some pieces as well, and then you have this whole little... Hello. So it actually has the batteries in there, so I didn't even realize that. That's actually really cool. So this is definitely pretty sweet. I didn't even realize this thing worked. Thought I'd have to do some work, so hello. So here we have this. The speaker still works, and this is how you actually work this guy. So this is so cool, and I had no idea. So I'm definitely thrilled, and there are some extra pieces in here. It looks like you could go ahead and change out some things. So this is pretty sweet to add to my Power Rangers collection. So overall, I definitely had a blast. They had so much stuff that I will definitely have to go back and try and add to my collection, as they just had a whole mix of video games, comics, new items, vintage toys, every single line that you could possibly think of. They had a little bit of everything. So I'm definitely looking forward to seeing how they do over these years, and definitely see what type of inventory they get next time I go in there, as they do have millions of items, so that is just insane to say. And if you guys are ever in the area of Westminster in Maryland, you should definitely check out Eternia Dreams. Once again, I'll go ahead and drop all of that information below so that you can check them out, check out all of their social media as well. And let me know in the comments below what items you saw throughout the whole video that you absolutely would have actually purchased, and which items that you liked that I actually picked up. Did you like the Power Rangers, that Megazord that has batteries in it and works? I had no idea. And then all of those Super Mario Brothers figures for that, not the best movie, but definitely nostalgic. All of those Super Nintendo games that I picked up, which brings me another step closer to completing my Super Nintendo collection, or all of those glasses, the Batman and the Flintstones McDonald's cups. So let me know what you guys think. Will you guys visit this place, Eternia Dreams, in the Westminster Mall in Maryland? And did you guys like all of the pickups that I scored while I was here? Just let me know in the comments below. And of course, thank you guys for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe. Go ahead and check out my other videos, and stay tuned for more.